Hey, Emily, thanks so much for joining me today to talk about Big Break NFL. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. This will be fun.
It is fun, yeah, it is, especially for me. Well, because this is our first chance to talk, and you've been through 4 episodes now, let's take a look back a bit at what happened so far. When you first
Okay.
saw who your competitors were walking into this series on day one, who did you think would be the biggest threat for you this year?
Well, I mean, coming off of Big Break Mexico, I knew who my competitors were that were from Mexico. So
Mhm.
Stephanie Knoyer was there and Chad was there, and I've gotten to know Stephanie really well on tour this the last season. So I know she is a top-notch player, and so she and a competitor. Oh my gosh! So I knew she was going to be a big threat. I knew Mallory and Shannon also from tour, and I knew they were good players as well. But the thing is, on the flip side, I had no clue who any of the guys were. I knew they were all on big breaks in the past, but big breaks one thing, and I don't really know how they are as competitors. So I didn't even know who my teammate Isaac. I didn't even know how he was gonna compete, and who knew how he was gonna work with another girl, and so. I mean, it was really fun to get the first few feelings out there through the practice rounds and the first few days of competition. So, I mean, I think I was doing pretty good with Isaac on my team. I was glad he was my teammate rather than my competitor, that's for sure, because he is awesome. But
Mhm.
everyone was going to bring a solid performance, that's for sure.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, then again, you start off and you end up with probably, the most revered football player ever, Jerry Rice, as your captain or your teammate. And I bet most people watching thought you hit a touchdown with that. Like, who
Oh my
would be
gosh,
better?
I was thrilled. I was beyond ecstatic. A lot of the other players kind of had an inkling of who they were going to bring in a third teammate and they were going to be someone famous. I was completely oblivious to this. So when they started announcing the NFL names, I was shocked. And then Isaac, we're at the end of the line, and he's elbowing me, being like, Emily, we got Jerry. And I'm like, I was like, Isaac, you can't say stuff like that. Like, don't get my hopes up. She's like, Emily,
Mhm.
think about it. We're wearing red. We're both from Northern California. I'm a 49ers fan. Are you a 49ers fan? And I'm like, yes, of course I'm a 49ers fan. Just all these things. I wish they put this on camera because they mic'd us the whole time. I can't.
Mhm.
I want to ask for like a blooper reel because he seriously was elbowing me the whole time, being like, Emily, we got him. We got him. I was like, no, quiet, like don't get your hopes up because what if another football player comes out that just is randomly in red too and then we are all like, oh, bummer. So it was really, really funny. And then when Jerry came out, I mean, Isaac had built me up so much. I was just so excited. I've never been so excited for something like that. That was just a thrill. And I mean, I've heard of Jerry Rice for years. I remember vividly when Jerry went to the Raiders, and my dad says he remembers the moment when Jerry got that last touchdown, and I mean, breaking records, and it was just, he's a hero in the Bay Area, and that's where I was born and raised, and his name will forever be in the record books. So it was pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, I think that'll be a memory for you for a lifetime.
Oh,
He's already
totally.
shown what a classy guy he is. I mean, he's just super talented. I mean, that pep talk he gave you when you missed your putt in the 3rd episode, I brought a lump to my throat. He was
Yeah.
so supportive, and I was just so impressed.
Yeah, that was really, I mean, at the time I was pretty disappointed in myself, so I didn't really think about the fact that Jerry Rice is giving me a pep talk. But now you look back at it, you're like, wow, that was pretty cool. I wonder how many people have gotten pep talks from Jerry Rice in a sporting event before. So it was pretty special for sure.
Yeah. Well, he gave you some great advice on learning from mistakes because, he talked about when he
Hmm.
lost, that's when he learned the most. But
Yeah.
I think maybe you could return the favor to him and teach him how to coordinate his wardrobe a little better. That striped plaid combo he had on, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, but it's Jerry, and it just everything he does is going to be great. So we just let it go.
That's true. Actually, it's hard for a man who looks that good to look bad in anything, but I thought he gave it a
Yeah.
good try with that outfit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
funny. So
Yeah.
funny.
Well, it's hard not to compare Jerry with and his style of teamwork with that of Chris Dolman, and I'm feeling for Shannon and Brian because I think, you know, they've got a problem there, and I just don't understand how they're going to fix it. But I don't know. What did you think? I mean, you obviously spoke out on the
I know.
show the other night.
I was quite outspoken about it. I mean, I can't help but just, I mean, now you look back at it and you watch the behind the scenes, and you're just like, wow, you know, I think it was the second episode with a putting competition, and we weren't there to watch what happened. So you see the behind the scenes, you're like, wait, what? That happened too? Like, oh, you just feel bad. Like, I mean, here my NFL player was super supportive, you know, the #1 teammate in the world kind of thing. And then their teammate is, you know, talking, this is my team. This is Team Dolman, not Team Fish, not Team Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can only sit back and kind of cringe when this stuff happens. But, you know, they're all, I was thinking about it. I talked to Brian the other day, and he was just saying, you know, maybe that, you know, attitude to the team made me play better because I was angry. And you don't really feel bad about it. You want to win for yourself, not for them. You want to, you know, prove it to them, stick it to the man kind of thing. So it'll make it interesting for sure.
Well, let's talk about last night's show then. Okay, so you went to bed feeling really bad. You wake up, you're presented with a flop shot, and you couldn't have done better. I mean, you won immunity with that brilliant 6-point score. You know, from the lows to the highs. I mean, it's an amazing how this show can do that to a person.
Yeah, it is. That's a big break for you. But it's kind of frustrating when, you know, after a bad show, you know, you get on Twitter and you see a lot of comments, you being, you know, like, you know, wow, I could really help you with your putting. Your putting's terrible. You should do this with your putting. You should do this with your putting. And you just want to scream at the computer being like, this happened in June, you know, like everybody calm down. I putted really well after. And then on the flip side, you do something well and everyone just gives you huge congratulations and, oh, you're awesome, way to come back from. It's like, again, that was back in June. I really appreciate the support. But, you know, I really wish you could just understand that this was way, way back ago, and we just have to, and I have to keep this a major secret, but, man, you're right, the highs and lows, and we were feeling it day by day. Now we're feeling it week by week, you know, and months later. So it is the funniest feeling. I was sitting on the couch last night watching the show, and I mean, I still feel those nerves. It's like, Emily, it happened already. You can't change the outcome. But it's still, and you get so nervous watching it. And, I just got so excited for myself last night again. Oh, man, it was a really good feeling because here I felt like I really let down my team yesterday, or not yesterday, but the previous episode. And here I was able to, you know, contribute and put a good exclamation mark on the end of that activity, and we were able to go home and relax for the rest of the day, which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, what did you do to celebrate anyway that day?
Oh, I mean, honestly, it's nice to just know that you get to go home and relax and not have to compete for the rest of the day, and you're safe onto the next show. So we get to go home and just kind of hang out and then get ready for interviews at the end of the evening.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I mean, there's definitely no, you know, activity room to go party in or something, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, you get to breathe and maybe take a nap and just relax knowing that you're safe, and that is an amazing feeling.
Right. Well, that's great. Well, you know, you've done so many challenges, been on 2 big breaks, and I wondered, given that this happened in June and you still had the Symetra Tour you were going to be playing in over the summer, how much do these challenges, things like flop shots and all those things, how much do they helped you on your tour, or have they?
The flop shots and the specific activities, I wouldn't say they have helped me, but it's the pressure that I've felt out on Big Break that has carried over to the Symetra Tour, and I'm so better able to handle these situations now. I got really nervous on Big Break Mexico, and I still got really nervous on Big Break NFL, but I was able to handle it a little bit better. And then carrying it out on tour, you're like, there's no cameras following you around, and even if there were, you're playing a whole golf hole now. You're not just hitting a flat shot and that's the outcome for the day. It's real golf, but you know that there's never going to be that pressure and those nerves that you feel like you did on big break. But if there is, you know you've done it before and you can handle it. So it's a pretty awesome thing actually that I got to experience those nerves before and during my first year as a professional golfer, and I really, really think that helped a lot.
No, I can see that. Yeah. Well, you weren't there for the rest of the day because you were either having a nap or maybe lying by the pool. So when you did get to watch the show for the first time last night and what happened, what did you think about it? Was there anything there that surprised you, anything that came out and then went, wow, didn't know about that?
Well, you can see just the pressure that people feel when you're in a sudden death competition like Team Del Greco versus Team Brown. I mean, Team Brown, they're fighting for their lives. If they got another strike, they'd be gone. And you just see how 4 people on a short par 3 of the shots can miss the green very, very easily. And that shows you big break. And, I mean, people can be sitting on their couch, with their remote controls being like, wow, these people are terrible. It's like, you don't understand what we're playing for. You don't understand that feeling that you just want to win and you want to do it for your team. And it's a sudden death. It's this hole and that's it kind of activity. And so it's really fun to watch it again, when we weren't there and see the competition, see the fire in their eyes. They want to survive. They want to be there the next show. And it was pretty cool.
Well, there's no question there. The cream is rising to the top in some ways. I mean, we're seeing James is incredibly on top of his game this series and seems to be carrying his team in some ways. And, Z is also looking good. I remember her on her big break, and I wasn't as impressed at all. And she just seems to be on form. So, and yet, one day to the next, it can change. Suddenly, right now we're seeing Isaac and Oren are struggling. Maybe they'll come out on top next time. It's such a flip-flop thing. You just really don't know who in the end is going to win, regardless of what's happening right now.
Yeah, it'll be a fun outcome to experience over the season. So, oh man, but yeah, I completely agree. Kind of, there are some teams like James. He's really excelling and Rippon, he's a great golfer. Bolger, he's pretty strong too. And then Dolman, although that team is going through a lot of turmoil, they're maybe playing the best, So it's really exciting.
Yeah, it is. Well, I keep thinking at some point the Golf Channel is going to do something really sneaky and start juggling up the teams, but I guess that probably won't happen. But anyway,
you never know. Your head is in the right place, thinking of all the things Golf Channel can do to us, and it's so true. They like to pull fast ones on you, but it makes it interesting.
Yeah, it sure does. Well, this has been such a pleasure talking to you, Emily, and I hope we can do this again next week. So thank you so much again. And is there anything you want to close with? Anything you want to say that I didn't ask you, perhaps?
Oh, well, just I hope people, keep their support for Team Rice, and hopefully we can take it to the end. We may have our backs against the wall, but it's gonna be a wild season. Hopefully it'll be a long and successful one, but we'll have to wait and see. So go Team Rice.
There you go. Okay, well, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next week. Take care, Emily.
Bye.